Hi everyone, my name is Uzi Cohen, and I'd like to present the multi-agent stock analyst system. Um, this system is a concierge. It's supposed to help um, retail investors invest better. Um, it takes advantage of a pipeline of three different um, operations that are taking place. Um, we're talking about having sequential data fetching. Basically, um, these are two agents that go and get data from the internet that is relevant for the analysis. Then we have a concurrent analysis of all the information that was fetched. And the two pieces of information that we bring in is a news feed, which we're going to use news API for that, and I'll show you in a second. And the other one is a 12 data to retrieve stock information. And so um, this data is being fetched. This data is stored in memory, in the session memory, and it's been used by the concurrent agents to analyze it. And then at the end of it, there's a decision agent that actually does take all the information and gives you a recommendation. Of course, everything you see here and this tool is not it's just for education and entertainment purposes, and I'm not a financial advisor, and um, any advice that you take from the tool is it's just for educational purposes only. Um, So let's dive into how you actually can run this tool. Um, just as a side, I did this mock data option, which basically allowed me to run multiple iterations like this without running into quota issues. But you should make sure that yours is set to false so you can actually go and fetch the real-time data. So in order to set it up, we will need the Google API key. We will need the 12 data API key, and we will need news API key. Getting them is fairly easy. It's all free. You need to go to 12 data and log in and basically create a free user, and they just want you to register. But once you're logged in, you can get an API key, and you use that to retrieve information about whatever stock you need, and it gives you information like this. Um, and then the other tool, the other API that I'm using is the News API. Again, it's a similar thing. Go to this website, log in, get an API key, and then you get the um, news in this format. Okay, so after we've done that and we got the keys, we need to put them in the secrets. Um, and then we're ready to go. So here I've already executed all of the cells just to save you guys time because it takes longer. It takes a long time to wait for the processing of it. I didn't want you to just sit there and wait. Um, when you run this, there are nice messages here that actually tell you that it's working, and you would need to wait for to see that last message. Um, so the first cell is just basically environment settings, right? Second cell it initializes LLM, the session service and logging. And the next step, cell number 3, defines custom tools that we're using. As I said earlier, we use two custom tools. We use the fetch technical data, and we use the news the news feed. So these two functions are being used by our agents. And like I said, I also kept the mock data over there, so you can actually toggle it on and off if you want. Um, the This is defined as a function tool so that I can call it from the agent. And now let's discuss the agent classes. So as I already explained, we have some agents that are running in parallel, some that are, and basically we have a fetching phase, then agents that run in parallel, and then decision. The agents are defined here. This was, I think, the hardest part of this project because getting the right instructions was very difficult, and I did face situations where the agent was just lazy, so I had to use forceful language to kind of make it do that. It would just hallucinate instead of actually going and using the tool. Um, and so these agents, you can see these two agents are basically using the tool to get the data from the API. This agent here, the technical agent, is just using the information that was already read by the other agent. Um, Here we can see the fundamental is actually using Google search to perform a search to find things like P um, and stuff like this. Then we have a news sentiments agent, which basically uses the news feed to get to basically analyze that and come up with some sentiment about the stock. And then at the end, the decision agent is taking all this information and creating basically a concise output with recommendation. This is just a nice diagram that shows the three stages: fetching, then parallel agent, then decision. Um, Cell 5 is basically kind of tying it all together, right? So we have the parallel agent, the sequential agent. As you can see, these agents are running in parallel, whereas this is the sequence, this is the pipeline that I mentioned earlier. We have three phases that are defined here. Um, and that's it. The next step is actually running it. So here I'm running it on Tesla. So I'm gonna, once this is executed, it creates a runner with the session, and then I also added here some checks because like I said, I needed to make sure that the tools are actually getting called. So there's a nice summary at the top that says what are the tools that were called during this. I just wanted to make sure that they're actually getting called because I had a case where the agent was, instead of just calling the API, would just hallucinate and give you numbers that are not true. So now everything works fine, but I kept the diagnostic information in here. And then here you can see that this is the log of execution. You can see that we're fetching Tesla's news, we're fetching um, the um, the stock here over here. See 150 days, so we can calculate the 150 days moving average. And you can see here that the tool. This is the diagnostic that I mentioned. The tools are being run. And this is the confidence, and you can see the documentation is hold in this case. And again, this is just for entertainment purposes, and no financial advice. And that's pretty much it. Thank you very much.